Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Rock Your Life 3.0. Life will never be the same. Life is changing, and Rock Your Life is changing also. Rock Your Life, the show that broadcast that will help you to move. And broadcast is moving, going from French to English tonight. It's the first time that Rock Your Life is in English. And life will never be the same. Life is changing. You know that. That's why we are here to help you to step up, to help you to succeed. And therefore, we have a topic, a guest, and a message. So tonight, the topic is how to finish 2020 motivated. How to finish 2020 motivated. That could be a big challenge because it was really a difficult year for most of us. But therefore, we have tonight a chance in live from Las Vegas to have a speaker, a very famous international and American speaker. And it's a lady, it's a she. She's a CSP, CPEA Speaker Hall of Fame. So ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Marilyn Sherman. Bonjour Marilyn.
Ah, bonsoir pour toi et bonjour pour moi.
Voilà, c'est ça, yeah. We will speak in English.
Ah, oui, d'accord. En anglais. Oui, yes, we will speak English today.
Unless you want to make a mixture, French and English.
Peut-être, oui.
Peut-être.
Ton anglais est très bien, by the way.
Oh, merci Marilyn, ton français aussi.
Ah, merci.
So Marilyn, so you are a motivational speaker.
Yes.
This is very well known in the US, a little bit less known in France, even if it's now getting more and more known because we have this French National Association of Speakers since 12 years. So you are a motivational speaker. What brought you to, why are you always so positive and brought you to be a speaker?
Well, like anybody, I have, we go through different moments of our life where they become turning points, where something has happened in your life, or you meet someone in your life, and your life takes a different trajectory. And I'm very, very fortunate that I saw a speaker, probably 30, 40 years ago. So I was very young. I was in high school.
You were a baby, yeah.
I was in junior high school, and I saw a speaker by the name of Roger Crawford, and he was so inspiring with his motivational message to a group of student leaders. And from that moment on, I thought, I want to be, he gave me so much hope that I decided I too want to be someone like that, who gives messages of hope to the world. So this has been a career that was established in my mind and in my heart before I really knew what I was doing. I hadn't even graduated from high school yet.
Mm-hmm. And so you say you're not a speaker since you met that guy or saw that speaker 40 years ago?
Well, I started speaking while I was still in high school.
Oh yeah, great.
Yes.
Oh, okay. So, but why do we need to, why is this industry, you call it industry in America, very important to have motivational speakers?
Well, it's very interesting because when I go to France and people ask me what I do for a living, they kind of like, what is this? What is this? Are you a consultant? Are you a coach? And it's just been part of my life for so many years. The reason why it's so important is because the spoken word delivered with passion and energy, with a message that moves people to take positive action, you can't read that in a book. And you may be able to watch it on a video, but the spoken word, giving a speech and then being moved to action is, there's nothing like it. People need messages of hope. They need messages of inspiration. They need their minds to be expanded in order to live a amazing life.
Yeah, you say that people need messages of hope and to get inspired and need to listen to you or motivational speakers. And in France, we are not so very good speakers as you are in America. And, you were my first speaker I saw 14 years ago when I went to the first National Speakers Association convention. And I mean, it's awesome that the top level you have, and you are a CSP, CPEA, Speaker of Hall of Fame, which means that you get up these different steps to really be a good speaker. So, which means you're working on to be a speaker and also to stay motivated.
Yes. Yes, but more importantly, my focus is not on being a better speaker. My focus is on delivering a message in a way that I connect with my audience. So I don't count my uhs and ums, and I don't practice where I point.
I'm glad to hear that.
Yes, so my focus is not on me as a speaker. My focus is on the message. What's the best message for the audience that I will be in front of? And what can I do to really speak to their heart and their mind to inspire them to take positive action in their life?
Okay. And so the first time I saw you, you had some chairs on the stage and they are behind you.
Yes, my front row. I always have chairs around me because this is part of my brand. Yes.
And the key message was at that time, I remember, was always go to the front row. Maybe you can explain what does it mean?
Sure. I believe that life is a venue. Imagine going to a theater or going to a sporting event, and let's say you're watching Zizou play football.
Zizou.
I'm dating myself. Now you watch him manage or coach. But anyway, let's say you're in a stadium and you have 3 choices in the stadium as to where you sit. You can either be stuck in the balcony, and balcony seats are way, way in the back where you can hardly see anything in front. Those seats are not good seats. Those seats you're not really engaged. There's lots of distractions. And so that's one option, balcony. The second option is general admission. And that's where most people are. And if you think about where a lot of people are in their life, they sometimes are just sort of meandering around with their careers, with their relationships, and they're in general admission, which means it's not the worst, but it's also not the best. They sort of gotten stuck into a comfort zone. And then the third option is to be in the front row.
Yes.
And the front row, as you heard 14 years ago when we first met, is where you get to say, it doesn't get any better than this. I love my job. I love my profession. I love what I do. I love the impact and influence I have with the people in my community or on my team. I love my family. I love my home. It's you wake up with such a sense of gratitude and happiness, beaucoup de heureusement, oui? Lots of happiness and joie. And so that's being in the front row. And so what I do is I like to illuminate the path for people to get to their front row.
Yeah. So Marilyn, and because you were my first speaker and you were talking about that, you were asking some people in the audience to come on the stage, and I was shy at that time. But then when I saw people on stage getting a gift, I said, I could have get that gift if I would dare to go on stage, would dare to go on the front row. I think you gave me a good lesson. Always go to the front row at that time.
I've interviewed lots of executives about this concept of where people sit and who they sit with and the front row philosophy. And one executive who was at the time the head of Sodexo North America, and you know Sodexo very well, of course, it's a French-based company. It's one of the largest food service companies in the world.
Sodexo en français.
D'accord. Sodexo de français. So she was the president of Sodexo North America Food Services, and she said, nothing good happens in the balcony. It's amazing the people and the connections you make while you're in the front row. So, Francis, when you were afraid to go to the stage, when I offered people to come to the stage, it's very, very common. The number one thing that prevents people from living their life in the front row and going to the front row of their life is fear. Fear of the unknown, fear of the spotlight, fear of failure, fear of success. And that really keeps people back. And once they break through the fear and realize, okay, I'm scared, but I'm going to do it anyway. When you get to the other side, there's definitely reward.
Yeah, I think this is you say fear, and that's true. I was scared what will happen if I, because it was unknown. Yeah. And maybe 10 or 14 years ago I would not have done this broadcast like I do it tonight, and it's
Yeah.
the first time I do it in English. So of course
Yeah.
do it in my French language is more easier than to do it in English.
Right.
But and I was excited just before starting, before pushing the button go live. Yeah, and you can say it. Yeah.
You've
Okay,
come a
so
long way, Francis, in 14
yeah,
years.
it's been a long way. Yeah, so this is you message already go to the front row, and you are also an author. You have written many books, and
Yes.
your last book is about the title is about there is a hole in
Bucket list.
your bucket list. Yeah, which is
Yes.
not maybe common in
Oh,
America. Oh,
yes.
here it is.
Is there a hole in your bucket list?
Yeah.
And Amazon France has this available as well. So the concept is really about all of us being able to be re-energized, re-engaged with our dreams and our aspirations and our hopes. Back
Mm-hmm.
in the day, a long time ago, there was a children's song called Is There a Hole in Your Bucket, Dear Liza, Dear Liza? I don't know if you
Oh, you
know
know
that
that
song.
song, and I know that song.
Okay, so this title of my book is a play off of that title because of my own failures. So one day I wake up and I realize I failed yet again with one of my goals. And I said out loud, why do I keep putting holes in my own bucket list?
Mhm.
And
Maybe you
then
need
it
to
took me,
explain, Marilyn, you need to explain bucket list because it's not
oh,
sure that everybody knows it in
oh,
Europe. It's maybe
okay.
famous in America.
Okay. So let's say you have a bucket list is a list of everything you want to accomplish before you kick the bucket. So kick the bucket is another term for mort, dying. You're dead.
Dying.
Tu es mort. You're dead.
Right.
So avant, before you die, what do you want to accomplish in your life? Do you want to have a TV show? Do you want to climb a mountain? Do you want to get married? Do you want to have your children be married off? What is on your bucket list? So you make a list of things that you want to accomplish. Think of it as your goals or your
Yeah.
dreams, just
Hmm.
bigger, because
Hmm.
these are so important. So here's another way of phrasing it. What one thing would you regret not doing if you died before you were able to do it?
Hmm. Hmm.
So if you think of your regrets, and it would be so disappointing if I died before I accomplished blank, you get to fill in the blank. What is that for you? So does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes sense, and it reminds me of a French song.
Ah, non, rien de rien. Non, je
Non,
ne
je ne
regrette
regrette
rien. I
rien.
love it. Edith
Je
Piaf sings, I
viens
have
comme après.
no, yeah. Il me comprend. Yeah, it's a beautiful, beautiful song about I have no regrets.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
but here's the thing.
Hmm.
Let's imagine this is your bucket filled with your dreams, your hopes, your aspirations, and your goals. But there's holes in it. There's holes. There's a leak. There's a leak in your bucket. Those holes are created by punctures that you and I make ourselves. For
Hmm.
example, fear can
Hmm.
puncture the bucket.
Okay.
Insecurity can puncture the bucket. Comparison to other people, which is very common in this day and age of social media, that punctures the bucket. Lack of faith, that punctures the bucket. So instead of your dreams coming true, you've got all these holes where your dreams are pouring out. So what
Hmm.
I do is I teach people to patch those holes, right, with courage, compassion, and kindness. So it
Okay.
takes courage to look at where you are self-sabotaging your own behavior. Like,
Yes. Hmm.
it takes courage to look at your fear. It takes courage for you to admit that you had fear. It takes courage to admit you have doubt. It takes courage to admit that you have a lack of confidence. The compassion is to give yourself a break. It's okay. We all go through it. You are not alone. So be compassionate with yourself so that you can move on. And compassion with other people Because one way to fill up your bucket list is to be compassionate to others, and you
Mm-hmm.
can't help but feel good about yourself when you do that. And then kindness, where you really just move forward in kindness and let go of the fear and the doubt and the insecurity. So
Yeah,
that's my explanation.
yeah, I think these are kind of message we need to hear
Of course.
presently today. You know, we are 27 days before end of this year, of this 2020 year. just one 27 more days to finish that year, but we
Yay!
can finish it motivated, and thanks to you, Marilyn. Yeah.
Yes. Well,
Yeah,
Francis, you bring up a good point. We're very close to the end, but there's still a good 3.5 weeks left. So
yes.
I don't want people to sit back and like, I can't wait for 2020 to be over. Because now is the time. Now is the time to take action. Now is the time to look at your blind spots and see what you can do about creating a better 2021, but starting today. Don't wait for tomorrow. Don't wait for 2021. Start today. What can you do to work on whatever seat you want to work on? Because we have different seats in our life, our physical seat, our mental seat, our work chair, our relationship chair. We can start today by moving these chairs closer to the front row of our life, however you define it. So maybe one of the first steps for your listeners today is to define what is your front row, because it's different for you than it is for me.
Exactly. And this takes time also sometimes to think about what do I want really in my life. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So on my bucket list, there was having an interview, a show with Marilyn Sherman, CSP, CPEA, Speaker Hall of Fame.
That's very nice, because what's on my bucket list is to speak in France.
Yes. Oh, by the way, because you speak a little bit French, and
Oui.
it's because you are married with a Frenchman. Just
Oui.
tell me, why did you choose a Frenchman?
Mon mari est français, il est parisien et il habite ici avec moi à Las Vegas. Because I traveled to France with my mother and father when I was 17 ans, peut-être. So I fell in love with Paris. I fell in love with the Eiffel Tower. I fell in love with the city and the people and the language and the culture. And I took French classes for 4 years. And when I finally went to visit Paris, I was like, ah, this is c'est très magnifique, right? So I decided my professional life was inspiring people to have their dreams come true. My personal life was, I made some bad choices, as relationship wise, I made bad choices. So I decided to practice what I preach to my audiences. So I made a bucket list of all the traits I wanted in a man. Like, if I were to define a front row relationship, what would he look like in terms of the kind of person he is? So, Francis, I made a list of 356 traits on this list. Kind, compassionate, spiritual, independent, never been married, doesn't have any children. I mean, I was really getting really just like lots of things that I wanted. And then I narrowed it down to the top 10 deal breakers. And it was in those top 10 traits that this man had to speak fluent French. So that's how it started. I manifested this man.
Okay, and your dream came true.
My dream came true. In fact, we are just celebrating 15 ans de anniversaire de mariage.
15 years of marriage. Yeah,
Oui,
I saw that.
oui,
Yeah,
oui.
happy birthday.
No, happy anniversary.
Oh, happy anniversary.
En anglais, anniversaire.
Yeah. Okay. So, Marilyn, thank you so what drives you to makes you to keep being motivated? Because when you talk positively, always tell people go to the front row, always face your fear and so on. What drives you? You need to have something who drives you.
Well, what drives me is the fact that I was put on this earth to do what I do for a living. I mean, I know this is mon Dieu, oui. I mean, I think it was a spiritual gift that God gave me, this direction and purpose in my life. And so I just I get so much joy because I know this is a gift. And in order for me to be connected to my audiences, whether it's a virtual event like this or in a live on stage, I need to be at my best self. So it doesn't serve my audience when I get stuck in the balcony of my life and choose to stay there. I also believe that I'm a living testament because I'm not always in the front row. There are, especially in the last 6 months, there have been some dark days and dark weeks where I literally did not physically feel like facing the day, even getting up. So I had to figure it out. I had to go back to what I know and what I've learned. And I think that also gives me more empathy to understand when people are going through these stages of loss. You know what those 5 stages of loss are. Dr. Elizabeth Kubler-Ross, she wrote a book called On Death and Dying, and collectively our world is experiencing loss of routine, loss of normalcy, loss of business as usual, loss of wondering what time I can go outside and not be, show papers as to why I'm supposed to be outside. I mean, that's a loss. And those 5 stages are denial, because some people still claim it's just a flu, bargaining, anger, depression, and acceptance. And what we need to know as individuals is that it's normal for us to feel anger. It's normal for us to feel a sense of heaviness or depression. It's normal for us to go through these ups and downs. But what people may not know is that we don't go through them in a linear fashion. You don't automatically jump from anger to depression to acceptance, because one day you could be a little bit of, angry, and then the next day you could go back to denial. Like, you know what, things are going to be normal next week. That to me is denial. So you don't go through them linear. And if you know that, it will help you get to acceptance quicker. And the second thing about these 5 stages is that you cannot be innovative, creative, and you cannot pivot with resourceful, new creative ideas if you are in any one of those first 4 stages. You have to be into acceptance in order for you to pivot in this world, to change, to embrace a new future.
Okay, yeah, thank you. Thank you for explaining that we need to understand that we go through those stages in order to go quicker, faster. Yeah.
Yes.
So, Marilyn, we are getting close to the end. It's not
wow, that was quick.
It's getting further. Time is passing by. We have also some messages from all around the world.
Oh, nice. Bienvenue, mes amis.
Yeah, but I can just show you some. This is Chippy. Oh, that's a cat, Chippy. Oh, Linda Barbadov was also, I met her. Hello, Linda, in 2006 when I went to the first NSA convention. Marie-Claude, who is from France. Dominique, also from France, I guess. Grateful, Marilyn. Thank you for my English. Camille also listening. Linda again.
Very nice. Okay. New chanson, oui. We like to sing.
Yes, we were singing with Lindy, a song from Billy Joel, but I don't remember the title. Sing us a song, Mr.
Piano Man.
Sing us a song tonight. Yeah, I didn't know that song at that time.
We're all in the mood for a melody.
And make us feeling all right. Da, 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 da.
We are a full-service entertainment show tonight.
Okay, and another message, a little bit longer. Love the manifestation of finding your husband's stories. A law of attraction at its finest. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, and what we need to really understand in France, I started by saying that you are a motivational speaker, and from France we see American. First of all, there are really old people are very good speakers. I remember 25 years ago I was in a convention in America, something different as the NSA, and every American stood up and took the mic, speaking in front of 2,000 or 5,000 people. It's not a problem. For a Frenchman, it's more difficult. This is one thing. But the other thing is American as seen from France as always being positive, always having this happy ending. Is this really true or not? Probably that's why we need, you are so you need motivational speakers. Yeah.
It's funny because my husband, if we're watching a movie, he'll say, "Is this an American movie?" Because he knows if it's an American movie, it's going to have a happy ending.
Yes,
Yes.
that's true. That's true.
Well, the genesis of motivational speaking is to really to help people be, to deliver a message, but the whole motivational genre is based on getting people motivated to be a better version of themselves, to be happy, to make a difference in their life and the life of other people. So I mean, I can't imagine going to a speaker who is saying, it's done. You are where you are and you will always be where you are. So accept it and let's have a good day. That doesn't work for me.
Yeah, we need always to move, and maybe just for our European friends to understand really the speaking business. Can I show a video?
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
Okay. It's a video where we see you. So I will turn off my mic in a second. I hope.
Raise your hand if you're tired of hearing the words unprecedented or pivot or hashtag wash your hands. And who knew that the most used phrases of 2020 would be, you're still on mute, or let me share my screen, or my favorite, we need to prepare for the new normal. Hey, let's face it, there is nothing normal about what people are having to handle today. The world has changed, no doubt. But what hasn't changed is the need to inspire and lead people out of fear and into courage and confidence. Teams are in crisis, even if they don't realize it, and now is the most important time to engage them. As a crisis counselor in a previous role, I helped people and organizations manage themselves and their people through tumultuous times. Trust me, my current clients are asking me to incorporate those same skills into my inspirational keynotes and virtual events today. Only now, my delivery from conference rooms and convention center stages has shifted to laptops and tablet screens. During these uncertain times, there's another overused phrase, there's one thing I do know for sure, the certainty of my message. My programs are centered around my 4-step process for high potentials and leaders to be the best version of themselves, especially while navigating change. It's called Front Row Success, how top...
Okay, thank you, Mary. This to show. Yeah, and you. What's interesting in this video where you're showing, we see you on stage and we see the business of speaking. And as you mentioned it, now it's changing. Life is changing. We do it more and more virtually or through internet and so on. Yeah.
Yes.
So,
and here's the good news. The good news is, some people just sort of shut down their speaking business and got another job. But what we do, Francis, you and I do this. We deliver a message of purpose, right? There's a reason why we deliver these messages. Standing up on stage in front of larger audiences is simply a vehicle in which to deliver that message. So all I did was just take my message and convert it. So I'm talking to a camera lens that's broadcast out to hundreds, if not thousands of people. So if you're focused on, well, what's your purpose? What's your reason for being, it doesn't matter what the vehicle is. And the good news is, because it's being broadcast, thanks to people like you, my message of hope and inspiration and, j'ai de l'espoir, I've got a lot of hope, more people can actually hear this message. Because my guess is, if people liked what I'm saying today, they will share it. And then it goes to more people, as opposed to just doing a one and done speech in a convention room and then people leave. So there's some really good things that could happen in forced innovation. And this pandemic is an example of forced innovation.
Yeah. And what you're saying, that you have the possibility to reach more people.
Yes.
And the key message, what I remember of your talk, is that we need to hear motivational speakers in order to give us hope and to go out of our comfort zone. Yeah.
Yes.
So Marilyn Sherman, yes.
Yes. When you watch or listen to other people, it gives you a path that you may not have understood or recognized yourself. So people need to be really open-minded to sit back and say, okay, what can I learn? Because I don't know it all. What can I learn? And then hopefully the person you're listening to inspires you to learn more about what you need to do to make a positive change in your life.
Exactly, Marilyn. And you inspired me 14 years ago to go to the front row, to dare to. And I will always remember this first meeting we saw that time. And you also gave me my my nickname. You remember?
Francis from France. Oh, I forgot. And now, yes.
You asked me, what's your name? Francie. Where are you from? From France. So, Francis from France.
I love it. Oh, and look at you now. Look at you now.
Okay. Thank you very much, Marilyn, for sharing this. So we have a new guest. I will have a new guest in 2 weeks. It will be from Munich. It will be our Sabine Askedom, and the topic will be Queen of Fucking Everything. Yeah, big title. There's a lot of things. So meet you at 18th of December. So Marilyn Sherman, really thank you very much for sharing your wisdom, for sharing your positive energy. And we need to hear people like you. We need to hear motivational speaker. It's not a work. It's who is already now very famous in France, motivational speaker. But I hope it will be developed. So thank you very much, Marilyn.
Bonjour, Francis. Maybe one day you and I could speak in France together.
And, who knows? Yeah, we'll put that on the bucket list. Yeah.
Yes, exactly. And people can go and get free videos from both of our YouTube channels and sign up on my website for some free resources. So
exactly, yes. So you have the YouTube channel, Marilyn Sherman. We need to find you, yes. And also on my video channel, we will find this show we are recording right now. Thank you very much, Marilyn. Say hello to Eve and bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Au revoir.
Au revoir.
Bonsoir.